Today, I'm going to show you how to convert cold leads into warm prospects using my favorite quiz tool in the world called ScoreApp. Many businesses have three main challenges with their funnel. Number one, too few leads or too poor leads. Number two, not enough convert into paying customers. And number three, marketing and sales teams waste time treating all the leads the same. Actually, I've been guilty of these three mistakes at the business I started called Moonrise Health 5 years ago. And until I discovered ScoreApp about 12 months ago, my business was really suffering. Today, for every $1,000 we put in, we get $15,000 back immediately thanks to ScoreApp. And I'm going to walk you through step by step how I've implemented ScoreApp and how you can get started today. Let's go. So ScoreApp is on scoreapp.com, S-C-O-R-E app.com. Here you can see that they have different use cases, but what I really enjoy is their different templates. And ScoreApp is sort of a complete product where you have the quiz landing pages, you have the form collection and everything around that, and you have the result pages that are dynamic. This makes ScoreApp pretty unique because off the shelf, you can get personalization, but you can do it on scale. And let me show you what you can do. So over here, you can see they have different types of templates, right? So if you click on health and well-being, which is the niche I've been working with Moonrise, you can see there are different types of templates from your landing pages, which look pretty nice, to even the result pages. So let's take this as an example of a landing page. When you click the button, you fill in, your form, your name, and then you get started with a quiz, right? And all this data, all the design, everything is customizable to a large extent, which makes ScoreApp pretty unique, So let's just see, let's get done with this. And here you can see that, based on the answers, you're a nutrition ninja is what you get as an answer. But actually, as a quiz designer, you can customize this, right? And then you can have CTAs that are more sales driven and so on. So let me walk you through how we use this at Moonrise, and let me walk you through an actual real test. So in this case, I'll start with Facebook Ads Manager. You can see that we have different ads. I have an ad campaign called All Assessment, which is my ScoreApp campaigns. And this is updated 13th of March. And we have different types of ads over here. We spend about $50 to $70 a day on this type of ads. And then we have retargeting, of course. And here you can see the URL over here goes straight to ScoreApp, So the display link says moonrise.health, but the URL is actually on ScoreApp. If you take the enterprise plan, you can even change the URL. This is how my landing page looks like. And here you can see that you can customize this, have the images, so on and so forth. And as soon as somebody clicks on this, you get into the quiz, like I just showed you. Now let me take you into the depths of how ScoreApp actually looks like. So let's come here, and here you can see that you have different settings over here, and the main part of the settings over here are the landing pages, the questions, the result pages. You have PDF exports in the enterprise plan, I believe. I don't use it, but just the landing pages, the questions and the result pages take you a long way. One of the things I really enjoy with ScoreApp is that you can do A/B testing in the landing pages. So you can literally duplicate this landing page and create another version and drive traffic. And the underlying quiz is the same, but you can definitely have different types of messaging. So let me show you an example. Let's say we have a check if you're a fit quiz, and here you can see I have two landing pages. The online quiz is the same, but we send different traffic over here, and based on that we can see what kind of message is resonating, right? So let's come back to the pelvic fit check over here, which is one of the examples. And here under questions, one of the things I truly love about ScoreApp is the categories of the questions. So on the left hand side over here, you have different categories. And you can see over here, I have the fit score category, and then I have something called the urgency of help and the budget category. And this can be tied to a question, right? So for instance, you can ask a question like, how open are you to a holistic body-based approach? And based on how they answer, you can have different scores over here, right? And you can decide, okay, the fit score over here should be 10 if they answer this, and it's 0 if they answer that, right? And then here I asked them a range of investment. Again, this is just a decoy, maybe people don't answer honestly, but at least you get an idea of how much they're willing to invest. And based on that, you can show them different things on the result pages. So this is what I truly love. You can do automation, or you can do personalization at scale. Now, let's see. So finally, once you've done the questions, again, you can have themes, you can change the logos, you can have, your different colors, you have your typography. It's very straightforward as a tool. The result pages is where you need to spend a lot of time because it can get a little complicated. So let's come back to that. So if you look at the result pages over here, you can only set one result page, but you can definitely A/B test them, or you can not simultaneously test them. You can test one at a time. So it's probably not an A/B test, but anyway, you get the idea. And here you can see that over here, the result pages can be changed based on the type of answer to the category score. So what do I mean by that? So over here, you can see in this here I'm showing the data based on their fit score, and the fit score is what I set up in the category of the question. So what ScoreApp does is it puts it, it does the calculation logic on your behalf, which means that if you say you have 5 questions around the fit score and each of them are 10 points, based on how the person answered, it automatically calculates that this person's had a score of 40 on 50, and hence it's a low, medium or high category, right? And based on that, it gives you a dynamic result page. You can do this for many categories, right? If let's say you have 30 questions and it's a complete assessment of something and you have 5 categories, obviously you can show different results for different categories. Now, if you go again on the most expensive plan, you can mix and match these categories and show even more dynamic result pages, which I've not tried. For my use case, coming up to a certain type of revenue threshold, I think this is fantastic and this is good enough. But as you start growing and scaling really fast, maybe you can do a lot more personalization, which I've not tried yet. So over here, you can see that I show different call to actions. In this case, based on the budget, I show them a free challenge if they have a low budget. If you look at my medium budget, I show them one-on-one PT. And if it's a high budget, I get them into my program, right? This is an example of how we use ScoreApp. And the beauty about this is the analytics. So in this case, if you look at the leads, this is something we just got started with recently. You see we have 308 results, right? And then if you go into one of the leads over here, you can see, all her answers, and you can see where she comes from. This is from our CRM and an email campaign, right? So you can see which program or which page did she come into the assessment from. And the best part is the AI part. So here, if you want to, let's say you want to look at her answer and say, you want to give her a reply, what you can do is to come into the AI part. So let me show you that in a second. So over here, you can see a summary of all the answers, right? Which gives you a lot of interesting data. And here you have an AI button. And when you click on that AI button, you can decide if you want to write a blog post about this, about this particular answer. If you want to write a press article, if you want to do a tweet or LinkedIn post. And then obviously you can go further down over here and look at question performance. So the biggest issue over here when it comes to assessments is abandonment. And if you can see where are most people abandoning, then you can start working with that, right? So in our case, 16% abandon out of the 300 that have finished the quiz or the assessment around, or that I have taken the start of the assessment at this point, which is at the range of investment. You can also see scores, right? So you can see the overall score, the fit score, urgency of help is 80, and budget is 40, which is classic, right? A lot of people need the help, but they don't have the time, in this case, the money, to actually get the result that they're looking for. So we need to nurture them, right? So what this means is that obviously you'll have some customers that have more time and money and inclination, and your leads, your sales and marketing people can really focus on them. So the 3 challenges that I spoke about in the start of the video is not getting enough leads. Now, if you look at my ads manager and if you look at my data, for instance, right, my cost per lead is $1.68. I mean, this is just the last few days, but if you look at the last, 30 days, for instance, you can see that the cost per lead is $1.63. I'll go back so you see the whole campaign. So you can see that in this case, my total campaign cost is $2.08 for the last 30 days. And if you look at the last, if you go maximum over here, it's $2.06, right? So it's for every $2 I get a lead, and a lead is somebody that's, put in his or her, in this case, her email by going through this. It doesn't mean they've completed the assessment. It means we've captured their email. That's a lead in the case of Meta's case. Now, what I know, if you look at this ScoreApp example, right? If you see the questions here, and if you look at the all time, out of 308 people that have started the assessment, 43 have abandoned, right? So it's about 14%, something like that have abandoned, which means 76 or 86% have completed the assessment, which means it's a pretty good, standard range assessment, which is pretty good numbers if you look at benchmarking. Now, for $2, what I all of a sudden have is I have a lot of data about these people, and I've given them value in return. So if you come back to why you're not able to convert enough cold prospects to warm leads, is because you don't know enough about them. Now, to know enough about them, you can't just simply ask, you have to give back. And to know what to give back, a quiz is a perfect bridge to take your cold prospects into your warm leads, because they feel they're going to get value at the end of the assessment. And that's why I love when we discovered ScoreApp. It has changed how I think about cold to warm, especially at the top of the funnel, because you can really get a lot of value as somebody who's filling in the assessment, and you as a business get a lot of data, which means that in your CRM, you can start having different buckets for different types of people. You can nurture them with emails. You can do events that are specific for certain types of people, which is exactly what we do. So if you look at our actual website today, after we discovered the assessment working really well, we have no buy buttons anymore, which sounds really weird. But we have realized that when we work with online health, women want to feel, in our case, they're going to get personal suggestions and personal help, and they don't want to buy a one-size-fits-all at this price range at least. So what we do is we do a lot of workshops, we have a lot of free resources, and the only thing you can do when you come into our program page is to do a free assessment. And there we take you to a ScoreApp page, and this is a much more of a comprehensive assessment. And then we are very clear, this is $1,300, $1,400 one-time investment to get started on the program. And we are not sure if this is right for you, so go ahead and do this assessment. And at the end of this assessment, we'll give you a score on how likely we think if you do the exercises we give you, you're going to get your health back. This obviously has skyrocketed our conversions. So if you look at the last 30 days, we've spent about $2,000, and we've gotten about 33 payments of some part pay, and some pay upfront. So you see this is roughly $1,300, and this is roughly $300. So about 60% part pay and 40% pay upfront. So, and the part pay is over 4 months, which means that, we get them into a routine of paying us monthly, which is really our extension after. So after the end of the 12 weeks, we get them into our membership. And the assessment has made a lot of difference, because all of a sudden, if you assume a first purchase value of $1,000 on average, that's $33,000 on $2,000 spent, which is 16 times your ROAS, which is fantastic. So I would say ScoreApp is one of those tools that gives you enough data to solve the 3 challenges. It tells you who your best prospects are, so your marketing and sales teams can really focus on them. It helps you convert better, as you see, with our own numbers, that you can really start nurturing based on data. And number 3 is that you can get much better quality leads, because people who actually end up doing the assessment and completing the work you want them to do are more inclined to engage with you. So all of a sudden you get a win-win-win, which is fantastic. Now, I want to finish off by saying that the easiest thing you can do with ScoreApp is to start with a template. So the best way to start with a template is you come to ScoreApp, and here you have templates, and I showed you templates when you were not logged in, but here you have a lot more. And the best thing to do is to just begin with a template. Don't overthink it. You should be able to do this in an hour, if not less. And here you can see, you get a landing page, you get 32 engaging questions, and you get the dynamic results across 8 categories. So this is a pre-made template, which means you don't have to think too much if this is partly your niche, right? Obviously, you need to figure out what your niche is. So in our case, what we did, we got started with a very simple quiz, 8 questions. We picked a health template, and we knew that, we just follow the best practice from here, you're going to get started. So I would say spend an hour, pick a template, get started, set up the questions, set up the categories, set up the result pages. And once you've done that, put up an ad, spend $10 a day, and within a week, you'll start getting maybe 10, 15 leads, and you'll start getting data, which will give you enough insight on how to start marketing this. Because at the end of the day, even if you're selling online if you have a content business or a coaching business or a community business, people want to feel you're going to give them value. And an assessment is a fantastic way to give personalized value at scale. Because maybe a PDF doesn't cut it for everybody. Maybe not a lot of people want to read PDFs. And this is where, if you look at the result pages, I really enjoy the result pages, because you can really work with the result pages. Let me show you what I mean. So over here, if you look at our Moonrise result pages, here you can see you have different blocks, right? So if you click on add section over here, you can literally drag and drop, a block over there, or you can click a plus over here, and it's like building a landing page. But the difference is that you can really make it much more personalized, right? So here I click on plus. I know what's going on. I click on plus, add section, and then I click on that, and boom, you have that. And now you can make this dynamic. So you can say, I want this to be dynamic and not static, which means that I want it to change based on the category score, right? And then you start editing this here, right? And you also have different types of variables over here that you can reuse in the block, which makes it very personal. So in our case, we always have our name, we have their score, so we know this is the person's name, this is their score, we get their email address, and then everything feels very personal. Obviously, they know this is sort of, in the world of AI, that this is computer generated, but it still feels very personal for 3-5 minutes of the time that you've asked them. So that's it, guys. In just a few minutes, you're able to go from taking your cold prospects into warm leads thanks to ScoreApp. An assessment is a great way to capture leads, give them value, personalize at scale, and do this all on autopilot so you can really focus on giving your best, highest converting possible leads the best experience so you grow your business and you can reinvest back more. If you found this helpful, please hit subscribe and like the video and share it with a friend or with your colleagues that might find this useful. I've also given you my link to ScoreApp below. That would give us a little bit of an affiliate. Either way, ScoreApp is a wonderful tool, and we really hope you start using it and start growing your business. I'll see you in the next video.